One of the most historic rivalries in all of high school sports continues today as the Blair Buccaneers take on the Peddie Falcons here at Hampshire Field in Blairstown, New Jersey. Matt Nelson and Tom Monfletto with you. And Tom, how is this rivalry compared to some of the other great rivalries, the Yankees, Red Sox, the UNC Dukes, the Lakers, Celtics? I have to throw in Richard Petty and David Pearson.
No, it's a great rivalry. It's one of the best and oldest, not only in the state of New Jersey, but also in the country. And there's something about when these two teams meet up, it's always a really good game, and we are fortunate to have two pretty evenly matched lacrosse teams that are about to face off today. It's not the same allure as Blair Peddie Day in the fall, where you have all the teams competing against each other for the Potter Kelly Cup, which culminates in the football game. Not the same deal, but whenever these two teams get together, it's always a battle, and it's always fun to see. So two really good lacrosse teams coming in. It's Peddie's last game of the season. It's Blair's second to last game of the season. So we'll see how it shapes out, but it should be a good one here today.
And for Blair, this team would not be successful without their star player, a postgraduate who sent to Navy in the fall, Marie Valenti.
Yeah, Valenti has just been an absolute stud for this squad. She leads the team in scoring. She leads the team in points, period. She's got 41 goals, 13 assists on the year for a total of 54 points. As you said, she is heading to Navy next year. She's also an outstanding soccer player here for the Bucks from Pennsylvania. Has been a tremendous addition to this Blair Buccaneer community. And when we saw her play against Pennington earlier in the year, she did a phenomenal job. I think she scored 7 goals in that game of the team's 13, I believe they finished with, or 15, something around there. But really, really great player for this Blair team, and she has added so much to the team, leading the team to a 10-3 record.
And then for Blair, this will be the last home game, that is, for not just this team, but for head coach Melissa Ernie.
Melissa Earn has been here for 15 years. She has done an outstanding job both on the lacrosse field and on the field hockey field. She has been and she's also a photography teacher here. She's been a great coach and a great leader here. The girls love her. Everybody on campus loves her, and she's just done a fantastic job. This will be her last game coaching here as we follow her to the scorer's table. This will be her last game, as she will be taking some time off and spending some more time with her newborn son, who she had in the fall of this year. But Melissa Earn, what a great job. Sarah O'Neill taking over for the field hockey position, and then Blair will bring in a new head coach for lacrosse next year. But everybody will surely miss Melissa Earn on the sidelines, as she has done really a remarkable job for the Buccaneers.
And we take a look at their starting lineup for today. You see Bernie, Whitty, and Loring up the top of the starting lineup. Emily Dehan, Caitlin Millard, Marie Valenti, the player to watch for, Pearson, Lawless, Shaw, Reed Von Staddy, Abby Bonner, and Mia Lambo in the cage. Another thing to note, at least on Pettie's side, their head coach, Katie Schweizer, is making her last appearance as head coach, retiring at least as of now from the sport of girls lacrosse. Her husband got a brand new job in Virginia, so we want to wish the Schweizer family best of luck on their new journey.
A pretty emotional day here so far. It's also the last home game for the seniors here at Blair, so they'll be sent off, hopefully for them, with a win, and that'll do it. It looks like we have a final in the baseball game between Blair and Lawrenceville. It's been a pretty even-keeled, I wouldn't say deadpan, but a pretty even-keeled game over there. Not a lot of emotion going on. I don't think there was much scoring going on.
I know it was close early on, but I'm not sure what the final score was.
But we will give you an update on that when we get it. Until then, We will bring you some girls lacrosse. It'll be right after this, right here on Strive.
And we're back here at Blair Academy as the Buccaneers and Falcons are ready to go for the final time this year, at least for Peddie. Blair is in their last home game and one game left on their regular season calendar, so he should be in for a pretty good matchup, a game that has always been about the rivalry between these two teams, a rivalry that has lasted over 100 years in practically every sport imaginable, and it renews right here today here at Hampshire Field. Peddie right now in the final pregame huddle as they get set to go to take on the Falcons, a team that is led by the O'Sullivan sisters, Andy and Molly. Molly is actually out for today. She is out with an illness. So this team is down one of their star players, one of their Navy commits. Both Molly and Andy are related, but they're actually cousins. Andy from Valley Cottage, New York, and Molly out of Centerville, Virginia. The fact that they're both going on to play lacrosse at the same school, pretty amazing when you think about it. If you're watching this game as a Peddie alum or a Peddie fan. Speaking of Andy, she will take the opening draw for the Falcons, and she'll go up against Marie Valente, the post-grad, also headed, ironically enough, to Navy in the fall. So there you go, two teams, two players at midfield who are about to play with each other over the next few months or so.
Some chit-chat going on at the face-off circle, so could be a topic of conversation. Hey, what dorm you living in? When are you getting to campus?
Are you going to be my roommate?
They could be roommates. You never know.
When are you, Anyway, as we digress. We're all set to go. Blair in the home white. Blair in the road navy blue and gold. We're underway, and Peddie controls the opening draw. It's in the stick, or at least it was in the stick of Emily Tufford. And now she drops it off to Madison Schoonmaker, number 2, a junior defender from Newburgh, New York. We get a whistle here as Peddie was trying to attack the goal for Blair. Now it'll be Peddie's ball here on the whistle. A free position due up for the Falcons.
Be a Lambo's first test of the game.
Now they'll go behind the cage for Kara Stevens. Stevens drops it
Wow.
down, and the score, the goal for Peddie, I believe. And we'll check to see who that was.
Check out this pass from Stevens, working from behind the cage. A great look, a great catch, too, cutting right in behind Nia Shaw. And that's a goal for the Falcons.
That's Andy O'Sullivan with her 42nd goal on the season. Off the second draw, it's controlled by the Buccaneers as Valente has it. Drops it down to Millard. On the near side for the Buccaneers. Millard, a senior, who has 8 goals on the season.
Millard, really the point guard of this offense, gets everything going. Everything really goes through her.
Ball scooped up right there by Peddie. Their goalkeeper is Kate Barrett, a sophomore from East Windsor, New Jersey, so she's one of the number of hometown kids on that team, and by that I mean that Peddie is located in Hightstown. Kind of think that if you're a Mercer County person, you think that East Windsor and Hightstown are relatively, well, first of all, they're in the same area, but they're literally right next to each other. Stevens has it behind the cage now for the Falcons, working from left to right here in the opening 25. Stevens tried to dump it off to her teammate. It's intercepted, though, by the Buccaneers, and here they come down the sideline. That's Casey Woody, 18, who picked it off.
Casey Whitty, another two-sport stud, soccer player. Continue her career in college. Saw some college coaches at the last lacrosse game interested in Casey Whitty.
Megan Burney with the ball on her stick now for the Buccaneers, the senior. Going back now to Natalie Pearson. And Valente tried to fire a shot off, deflected by Barrett.
Good defense there by Peddie. Valente not really able to get much on that shot. And a good save and goal for Peddie.
Barrett's pass intercepted at the last minute by Shea Lawless. And here comes Burney with a trick there. That's actually Emily Dehan, number 2. With it now behind the cage for the Buccaneers. 1-0. Blair on top with just under 22 minutes to go here in the opening half. Valente guarded by Schoonmacher. Valente trying to sweep around for the right side. Fire off a shot, and it goes in off a bounce. And we're tied up at 1.
There it is. Only a matter of time before Valente got herself on the board. Kind of isolates herself here, gets some space, makes it a one-on-one. And usually Marie Valente is going to win that one, even though it was not poorly defended. She doesn't need much space to put it home.
Valente right there with her 42nd goal of the season. In the future, midshipman ties up the game for the Buccaneers. It'll be her going up against Andy O'Sullivan, soon to be teammates out at the Navy girls lacrosse team. Ball is high up in the air and picked off by Valente, who finally scoops it off on a bounce. Valente heading down the sideline now. And guarding her is Katie Clark, number 14. Millard has it now, trying to sweep in from the left side. The ball poked out of her stick by Schoonmacher, and the whistle blows with just about 21 minutes to go. The foul, I believe, will go on Schoonmacher. And Blair will have a free position coming up with Millard looking to score here. Millard comes in and fires wide. It's scooped up by Valente. Valente, quick pass, shot, fired just wide from Natalie Pearson. And now Valente tries to save it from going out of play. Whistle blows. It'll be Valente's ball. Valenti will have it here on the whistle as one of the referees tried to set up the players. Katie Clark now has it, streaking down the field for the Falcons in the road navy, blue, and gold. Very similar to the colors of Navy. How ironic for Andy O'Sullivan and Molly. Remember, Molly is out today with an illness. Emily Tufford down the field now for Peddie. Tufford, a sophomore midi out of Chesterfield, New Jersey. Right in the Burlington County area. Tufford trying to swoop around from behind the cage. Works it back out on top for Andy O'Sullivan. Just like her cousin Molly. Both of them are post-grads, but they're cousins from two totally different states. Tufford now has it up top. Feeds right to Stevens. Stevens out of Pipersville, Pennsylvania. The junior attack. When you think of Stevens, you think of her as probably the third player on this team in terms of her strength and her agility. Andy O'Sullivan now behind the cage. On her right is Lauren Killian, number 22. O'Sullivan is being guarded by Valenti. Killian now, far side of the cage. Guarding her is Reed Von Staddy. Good spin move. There's a shot deflected by the goalkeeper.
Nice job by Von Stad. Better job by Lambo as well, getting in front of that one.
Good save by Lambo as the ball is picked up off a bounce by Tufford and a whistle blows. Tied up at 1 here as we approach the 18-minute mark of this first half in the Blair-Peddie rivalry game. Off the loose pass, Tufford picks it off. Backs away from the defender, finds Stevens on the right. Stevens now, guarded by Pearson. Stevens fires up top for Tufford. Tufford now will go to Emma Wilby, number 21. It's back in the stick of Tufford. Tufford working for the top. Backs away from the defender. That's Pearson trying to poke away a ground ball. But Stevens has it now for the Falcons as the whistle blows.
Went back and watched some of the game that we covered against Pennington earlier in the year, Matt, and Pearson she had a hat trick. She had some just unbelievable moves on offense. She is an outstanding lacrosse player.
Stevens, nice stump off to Phoebe Wood, and O'Sullivan picks it up, fires, and scores. Andy O'Sullivan with her second goal of the day.
A really nice, deliberate possession there for Peddie. And very patient, very patient. And O'Sullivan, great job of positioning, a great catch, a good spin, and quick enough to get a good look on goal. There's really nothing Lambeau could do right there as O'Sullivan is about 3 feet in front of her. So, good possession there by the Falcons.
Peddie won last year's meeting against Blair, 16-7, during regular season play. It'll be Valenti and Andy O'Sullivan once again for the draw. Ball is up in the air. Valenti tried to poke her stick in front of it, but Andy O'Sullivan gets there instead. Right away, we have a whistle. A foul against Blair with under 17 minutes to go. Killian working down from the opposite side of the field. Killian backing away from the defender and finding Andy O'Sullivan behind her. Tufford on the wing now for the Falcons, who come in at 8-4 overall, finished, or at least right now, 2-2 in the Maple League. As is Blair, who comes in at 10-3 overall on the season. Trying to continue what is currently a 3-game winning streak.
You know, this team only won 3 games last year, Matt. And to see them with only 3 games in the loss column this year, a remarkable turnaround, a true testament to the growth of this team, to the coaching staff, and, of course, to some of the newcomers such as Marie Valenti as this goal goes in for the Falcons.
Lauren Magid scores, the freshman midi, with her first career goal here at Peddie. As we take another look at it, a great pass that you saw from Tufford.
And, the goals for the Falcons haven't really been completely individual efforts. They've all been some great looks and some great movement without the ball and really, really sharp execution on offense.
So, in the last game of the season for Peddie, it's Lauren Magid, the freshman, who gets her first career goal here in girls varsity lacrosse. Valenti and Andy O'Sullivan for the draw here. Ball is high up in the air, and both players try to poke it away from each other, and Andy O'Sullivan has the better half of it. O'Sullivan streaking down the field across the middle and works their way to the right side. Magid trying to swoop in, picked off the ground by Andy O'Sullivan. Behind the cage she goes, fires off a pass, deflected right away by Mia Lambo, and picked up. Now Lambo lost the handle of it.
I think she just dropped it off for Valenti there.
And now Valenti will have it as she works down the sideline. Long pass caught by Ambi Bonner, nearly lost the handle and picks it back up. Bonner down the sideline now for the Buccaneers in the home white, working from right to left. As you get a nice field level view of the action going on in the field. Bernie with it now and working it back up top around Natalie Pearson. Pearson is on the right. Instead, she's got Valenti on the left. Valenti trying to come in, and a whistle blows just before Valenti looked like she was trying to get a goal off. 3-1. Peddie on top, and we'll have a free position here for Valenti as she will try to cut the deficit to 1 goal. Valenti fires and scores on the doorstep. Bottom shelf for Marie Valenti.
And you give Valenti this free position, might as well notch it up as a goal. This is darn near impossible to stop. She's just so good at when she's that close, finding the back of the net. That time she does it with a bounce. Very skilled player here for the Buccaneers. Right back in it.
Valenti with her second of the day. She's got the only 2 goals of the game for Blair. Peddie's goals have come from Andy O'Sullivan and the freshman in Magid. And this time it was Natalie Pearson who took the draw, and she is going to have the better half of it. The ball scooped up by Reed Von Staddy on the other side of the field. The whistle blows. Von Staddy will have it here on the whistle. Down the sideline, being guarded by Olivia Cook. Von Staddy is mainly known for her defensive prowess here at Blair. Races behind the cage and dumps it off to Dean. Whistle blows under 14 minutes left. And it looks like Emily Dean will keep it here. Abby Lloyd behind her. And for the Peddie folks watching today's game, of course, O'Sullivan, Wood, Lloyd, you may recognize those names from the field hockey team, and they had a chance to cover them earlier this year when they played Hill in a Maple League contest. Bernie now has it up top and tries to back away from Andy O'Sullivan, who's just pressuring her no matter what. A ball poked out of the stick rather of Bernie. A whistle blows here.
Not sure what the call is here.
I believe it's a foul going against. It appears as of right now it's on.
It's against Blair. I don't know how that happens.
So Killian. Now check that. Phoebe Wood brings it down the field now. And slows up. And finds Tufford on the right. Tufford will make her way leisurely behind the cage. And guarding her is Abby Bondner. She tried to dump it off to her teammate who lost the handle. Pearson in there and picks up the turnover. Natalie Pearson with a great defensive job as she spins and a whistle blows. And now she will stop to tie her shoelace for a minute. Last regular season game for Peddie as they come into this game at 8-4. Blair in their last home game with one game left on their schedule this Saturday at Warren Hills. Pearson gets hit. Contact made by Olivia Cook and a whistle blows. That's an easy foul right there against Cook. So Pearson will have it on the whistle. On Pearson's right is Megan Burney. Pearson finds Burney on the right. Good spin move. And Burney loses the handle. It's picked up by a teammate. And that is number 18, Casey Woody. Now she loses it. Andy O'Sullivan gets it. And a whistle blows. And it will be in the stick of Woody here on the whistle as Andy O'Sullivan comes on to the other side of her. Valenti has it on the wing now for Blair. And coming in to guard her is Bridget Wood. Valenti spins to her left. And now looks to reset here with under 11 minutes left here in the opening half. Valenti now moving off to the right. Now things going left. Valenti charging, firing, and deflected right off of the Kate Barrett's stick.
Really great defense. Great job in net by Barrett. And it looks like Valenti is down for a little bit here. She did take some contact near the goal.
Valenti is down just by the goal as we switch over to our field level camera. Valenti is able to get up thanks to the help of Natalie Pearson. And now Megan Burney is over there. And we just hope that Valenti is okay.
So she's walking it off pretty well.
Not what Melissa Earn wanted to see, and now she will take Valenti out of the game for a moment. What will be Valenti's last home game. Abby Arturi, number 26, a sophomore attack, will come in to replace Valenti as she looks to shake off the pain and take a breather. It'll be Peddie's ball on the whistle. Bridget Wood will have it. And right away she finds Killian, who works her way down midfield. Stevens, near side, goes to the middle for a teammate. Shot fired and deflected by Mia Lambo. Olivia Cook tried to score right there for Peddie. Killian down the field now. Dehan loses the handle and a ground ball picked up, but a whistle was blown. Foul goes against Blair, and Abby Lloyd will have it for the Falcons. That pass is intended for Phoebe Wood, who picks it off. Drag race against Natalie Pearson. They go to Stevens, who loses the handle. And a loose ball. Whistle blows. We'll see who the foul is going against. They say it will be against Blair. 3-2, Peddie on top as we are 8 minutes left at the end of this first half. Tougher racing behind the cage. Stevens has it up top. Finds a teammate. Shoots low. Deflected by Mia Lambo. That was Phoebe Wood who tried to score that time for Peddie.
It's a nice move by Wood, but Lambo just too strong in net. Here comes Shaw blazing down the sideline.
And the pass a little bit too high for Caitlin Millard. And it's picked off by Andy O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan looking for a hat trick as she races by 2, maybe 3 Blair defenders. Stevens has it in the corner and will jog her way behind the cage. Stevens is being guarded by Shea Lawless. Stevens to the near side now and looking to set up something here for the Falcons to extend their lead. Shot deflected by Lambo again, and she picks up the save. So far, it's been a battle of the goalies here in the early stages. As we are at the 6.5-minute marker, approaching that part of this game. Foul is going to be called here against Phoebe Wood. It'll be Pearson's ball on the whistle. Pearson racing toward the cage. Lost the handle of the ball and scoops it right back up. Millard behind the cage now for Bernie. Millard has it now for Blair. 7:12 left. Pearson. And she'll go back out to Millard here. And as Millard will jog her way to the top. Valenti still on the sidelines, being looked at by one of the athletic trainers for the Buccaneers. She was banged up about a few minutes ago and was able to walk it off, but her status for the remainder of the game is unknown as of right now.
I think she's just getting taped up, Matt, by Coach Strauss over there. Looks like an ankle, but could be back in the game soon, looks like.
The whistle here against Peddie as Emily Dean looked like she may have had the last touch for Blair. It will actually be in the stick of Natalie Pearson. Right around the center of the screen. Free position here for Pearson. Try to tie the game for the Buccaneers. Pearson fires, whistle blows right on the shot.
We have an equivalent to a lane violation here, so they're going to get Pearson's going to have another shot at it.
Pearson shoots wide and out of play.
Surprised the free positions have not been converted. A couple opportunities for both Blair and Peddie. Haven't been able to get the job done.
Ball is being worked back toward midfield. Here comes Katie Clark. Whistle blows. Clark will have it. She'll be surrounded by about 4 Buccaneer defenders, including Dehan and Lawless. Clark waiting for the cue. Here it is. Stevens in one-on-one. Stevens to her right. Nearly got bounced around by Nia Shaw. Has to work her way behind the cage. Now it's intercepted and picked off by the Buccaneers. Ball still loose and now scooped up right here by Dehan. Dehan 4-on-3 from the right side, deflected by Barrett and scooped up by number 99 for Peddie. Whistle blows. Under 4.5 left here in the opening half. A 3-2 game. And this will be a positive sign here for the Buccaneers. Checking out Megan Burney. We'll see if Valenti is checking back in, as she will make her way toward the scorekeeper's table. Looks like Bernie will actually be in the penalty box for a minute or so. Clark. And here's Tufford working towards Stevens. Under 2.5 left during the opening half. We get a whistle and a foul. Should be against the Buccaneers as Valenti has checked back into the game. Get a picture of her when we get a minute, as Stevens has it now for Peddie. Quick pass, a bit loose, but it's scooped up by Mia Lambo. Whistle here as you get your first look at Marie Valenti, who's back in the game now for Blair. What a sight to see for the Buccaneer fans after she was knocked out about 5 minutes ago.
It wasn't knocked out. She was knocked down, so tough student athlete here for the Buccaneers. Not moving as gingerly as she probably would like, but still just having her on the field is extremely valuable for the Bucs.
Millar using her quickness and trying to move away. Here's Whitty and a whistle. A 2.5 left. Try to fix our clock. Having some minor difficulties here. As you look at Valenti. And a free position here for Casey Whitty. Whitty. Lost the handle. It's intercepted by Andy O'Sullivan. Nearly scooped up by Lawless. But picked up by Megan Burney. Burney's pass. Loose. And trying to scoop it up is Millard. Whistle blows. The first one to get to it was Olivia Cook. And it's going to be Blair possession. It should be Millard's ball here, as Natalie Pearson's being told to back up a little bit. Burney on the near side. Now it's Dehan who's behind the cage. Coming up on 90 seconds left, still a 3-2 Peddie lead, and that's a very, very small score for a girls lacrosse game at this stage. Pearson from the far side dumps it off. Valenti, who might be battling an ankle issue. Valenti slices in, and it's saved by Barrett. Bridget Wood now down the sideline. We're under a minute to go here in the opening half. Ball loose. We get a whistle here, which will temporarily stop the clock. It'll be Kara Stevens. Sam Scott now with it. 45 seconds left and counting. Scott being guarded down by Valenti, who comes in to play defense. Stevens makes her way behind the cage. She has Cook on the left. Cook now has it. Dumps it off to O'Sullivan, who fires and scores. Andy O'Sullivan has the hat trick. I'll make that 3 out of the 4 goals now for Peddie.
Another great pass and another just kind of touch shot. Von Stade turns her back. Bodner turns her back to O'Sullivan. You can't do that. She always has to be accounted for. She's way too dangerous, especially that close to the net. She puts it in off a great pass.
So, with 25 seconds left, should be in for what could be the final draw, as Pearson will face Andy O'Sullivan. Ball is up, still loose, and now picked up by Cook. Whistle will stop the clock here. 19 seconds left. It'll be Olivia Cook who dumps it off to Stevens. Quick pass, shot fired, and a bit too high off a bounce by Sam Scott. Stevens from behind the cage. And her pass goes wide, picked up by Andy O'Sullivan. Shot goes wide. And it's picked up by Stevens. Last chance, potentially. Passes high, and that will do it for the end of the first half of play. A low-scoring game, despite a hat trick from Andy O'Sullivan. But Tom, it was in that little small stretch right there with Marie Valenti being knocked down on the ground and being taken out of the game. Still, very similar play by both teams.
Yeah, defense has really been the key, and it's not only the play of the goaltenders, which has been fantastic between Mia Lambo and Kate Barrett, but the defenses as well, limiting the clean shot opportunities for the opponents, and especially on the free positions. I think the teams are 0 for 4 combined on free positions, and not being able to get good, easy looks at the goal. Some really stingy, really, really tough defense, and it all comes down to effort. And both teams are showing a ton of it so far here today. So far, Peddie has been able to get a little bit more opportunities. They've been moving the ball around, working the ball around very, very well, very efficiently. And I think they wanted to control the pace of this game and slow it down, whereas Blair might have wanted to maybe ramp it up a little bit. But so far, it is in Peddie's favor, much, for mostly because they've been able to control the pace and the tempo of the game.
So it's a 4-2 Peddie lead over Blair, and we will step aside for a few moments. Come back with the second half right after this. You're watching Blair Girls Lacrosse right here on Strive. And welcome back to Hampshire Field here on the campus of Blair Academy in Blairstown, New Jersey. Matt Nelson and Tom Maffaletto back here with you. It's a 4-2 Falcons lead. A hat trick from Andy O'Sullivan and the first career goal by Lauren Magin has given the Falcons a 2-goal lead. Marie Valenti has both goals for the home Buccaneers, but she was knocked out of the game for about 5 minutes toward one of the goals and was fortunate to come back in and try to get her team pumped up for this second half. We are underway here in half number 2, and the aforementioned Valenti controls it for the Buccaneers on the far side. Peddie moving from right to left here in half number 2, while Blair will work from left to right. It is Megan Burney who has it for the Buccaneers, and flips it left for Valenti. Pearson now, near the corner. She will go to Burney now. Back to Valenti. Valenti. Lost the handle of the ball. It's picked off by Anna Mucheron, number 8, in the navy blue and gold for Peddie. And a whistle blows. We are a minute into this second half of play. The only thing at stake here for these two teams is whoever wins the Blair-Peddie game. The rivalry, which expands more than 100 years, has been one of the best in all of high school sports throughout the country. Stevens now behind the cage for Peddie. And here's Sam Scott on the near side. Back to Stevens, who looks to work out of the double team. Now Pearson is trying to pressure her. Stevens working around from the right side, trying to get something off. She'll have to think twice and reset it here. Whistle blows. And it's going against Blair Academy. Stevens will have it on the whistle as the referee moves her over about 20 feet to her left. Quick pass, shot fired a bit too high by Cook and out of play. They try to go with a give and go, but Cook was a little too strong on the shy attempt. So now Stevens will take 2. Tufford. Sidestepping to her right, finds O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan with a little side swipe. Instead, it's in the stick of Stevens.
Sullivan is so skilled with the stick. It's almost impossible to see it.
Again, that's Andy. Molly is not playing today's game due to an illness. So, unfortunately for her, she has to miss the Blair-Peddie game, which is the last game of the year for the Falcons. Andy O'Sullivan sidestepping, now trying to attack. Goes right, now backs away. Finds Stevens, and the save is made by Mia Lambo. Valenti dumps it off for Von Staddy, who races her way down the sideline against Mucheron. Still going is Von Staddy. Quick screen there from Dehan. And Von Staddy is going to work her way all the way down the sideline from left to right. Millard now has it for the Buccaneers. To her left is Burney. Burney, spin move, shot, fired, score! And it's down to a 1-goal deficit for the Buccaneers, courtesy of Megan Burney.
We've seen that move before. We'll take a look at this entire possession here when Burney first gets it. Plants that pivot foot, spin move, and it's all over. Megan Burney, an outstanding scorer here for the Blair Buccaneers.
So it's down to a 1-goal game, thanks to Megan Burney's 26th goal of the season. Also a field hockey player for the Bucs, as there aren't many of those for Peddie. Pearson versus Andy O'Sullivan for the draw. Valenti hasn't taken a draw in over several minutes for the Buccaneers. Ball is high up in the air and a whistle blows as the foul is going against Valenti, and she has her hands up in disbelief.
Not really sure what that is.
But it will be the Falcons' ball here on the whistle. Andy O'Sullivan ready to go for midfield.
It has gotten absolutely frigid here at Hampshire Field.
It's mid-May, guys. Come on. Where's the warmer temperatures? As Stevens fires one low and scores for the Falcons. Now the lead is back to 2. It's 5-3. Kara Stevens with her 27th goal in the year as we get one more look in transition. Stevens, basically known as the third best player on this team behind the O'Sullivan sisters. And with Molly O'Sullivan's absence, Kara has had to step up her game. It'll be Andy O'Sullivan and Nally Pearson for the draw as Valenti quickly picks it up off a bounce and races down the sideline for the Buccaneers. Guarding her is Phoebe Wood. Valenti, good move to the left. And backs away to try and set something up here. Now she loses the handle and Pearson picks it up. Pearson to Millard. Wide open. Shot fired. Score. Top shelf.
Great job keeping it alive, and a better job by Millard just kind of sneaking behind the cage. She stays there, and a great feed from Pearson as Millard sneaks her way in front of the cage and puts it home for the Buccaneers. Pearson and Millard, seniors, been playing together for a while, sync up in a big way right there.
So it's down to a 1-goal deficit here as Pearson will again face Andy O'Sullivan. And it's won out by Abby Bonder, who comes in.
Starting to hear a lot more life coming from this Blair bench as yet another whistle comes into the game.
It'll be Bonder's ball on the whistle. The foul is against Peddie.
This guy can't do it enough.
Bonder in the corner. Has Millard behind the cage. Dehan on the left, and now Bernie and Millard switch sides. Now Bernie. And it's actually, we're going to see who has it here. It is Megan Bernie. And it's Bernie. A nice move past a couple of Falcons players, but a whistle blows.
Nice job by Bernie drawing the foul. Free position here for the Bucks. So where Bernie's usually pretty deadly.
Looking for the tie. Bernie shoots, and we're tied up at 5.
That was not one of the easier free positions there by Bernie, especially against a tremendous goaltender in Kate Barrett. And this is an outstanding shot. Two steps, and then, that was about 4 steps. And then fired, a little two-seam action, a little run on it, a little arm side run.
Is that a baseball reference?
Yeah.
I think you're already focusing on Hun baseball right now. Anyway, first tie of the game here, as Pearson and Andy O'Sullivan will do it up for the draw. And Pearson nearly came down with it, and now Valenti had it. Whistle blows, and a foul might be going against Anna Mucheron, number 8, for Peddie. Valenti. With one hand on the stick, now make it 2. Valenti finds Bernie, who has to leap up to make the catch. Bernie's got Millard on the right, and now Millard has it. Backs away. Millard tries to find a give and go to her teammates, picked off, and here comes Katie Clark. Clark down the field in transition. Alex Finelli, number 4. And the ball poked out of her stick, but scooped right up by Kara Stevens. Stevens, spin move. Coming in for the shot. It's wide, out of bounds.
Blair so far in a 3-1 run, I guess you could say. That doesn't sound impressive, but goals have been hard to come by in this game because the defenses have been so outstanding.
Wood, the interception, the shot, deflected. Emma Wilby had her shot deflected by Mia Lambo, and Lambo's been impressive in the cage.
Yeah, Lambo a little upset with herself after getting that ball taken away. Gonna have to come up with another big save here.
Stevens jogs to her left behind the cage. Little crisscross action with Olivia Cook. Stevens trying to sweep it in, dumps it off, and the shot was actually deflected. Cook had it. Good defense by the Buccaneer D. Whistle comes in. And we'll see what happens next here in a 5-5 game. It will be a free position. Peddie trying to retake the lead. Cook ready to fire. Cook comes in, shoots and scores, and the Falcons retake the lead 6-5.
It's a great shot by Cook, starting with that free position there granted to the Falcons. But Cook's got to do the rest herself and fires this one past Lambo. And you know, if you've been watching Mia Lambo play all season long, that is no easy task. So Cook with a rifle into the back of the net, give Peddie the lead back.
Pearson and Andy O'Sullivan once more for a draw. And Andy O'Sullivan picks it off for Peddie. O'Sullivan streaking down the field. Running like a track star right there. As she works her way behind the cage, dumps it off. And a loose ball scooped up by Mia Lambo. And here's Valenti racing down the sideline. Lights have come on here at Hampshire Field, as we are just across the bottom of the hour here on Strive. Valenti walking now with the ball behind the cage and firing to Millard. Valenti looking to call something up behind the cage for the Buccaneers. Now, lowest scoring game. Right now it's 6-5 with Peddie in control. Bernie, good spin move here. Blair's lowest scoring game. A 9-8 win against Mercersburg as Pearson finds the cage and scores to tie it again.
And Pearson, we've seen that move before too. So all these Buccaneer players go into their well of tricks to get on the board here, tie the game back up. Pearson, we've seen this so many times, coming from the left, and the lefty jump shot right there. Seen it so many times before. She has perfected it. And Blair now tied up with the Falcons.
Pearson will take the draw for Blair against Andy O'Sullivan here. Going back to the score of games. That 9-8 win over Mercersburg Academy on April 11th, the game we covered here on Strive, was actually, I believe, in overtime. Valenti past the defender here for Peddie. And a whistle blows. Ball knocked out of the stick of Valenti. And it should be a free position coming out for the Buccaneers. Valenti shoots, deflected, and it's wide right and out of play.
And Valenti is just not 100%. You can completely tell, hobbling out there on that ankle, but she is toughing it out here. The last home game here for the seniors.
Bernie trying to come in from the left. Bernie past two defenders. She'll have to work it back out now. Pearson attacking from the left side and behind the cage to Valenti. In terms of Peddie and their scoring throughout games this year, as Valenti tries to back out, dumps it off to Pearson, whose shot is fired wide out of play. Peddie does not have a game in which both teams have scored under 10 goals apiece. So, in a way, Blair has been in this instance before. Bernie sweeping in, left side. Pearson fires high, and Blair has their first lead of the game. Back-to-back goals by Natalie Pearson.
It's really fitting that Pearson coming out in her final home game, playing one of the best games that she's played all season long, putting the team on her back. Just an outstanding player, an outstanding student athlete here. She's been a great leader for the Buccaneers all season long, vocally, emotionally. She's getting it done on the field here today.
Blair has outscored Peddie 5-2 here in the second half. As Pearson, who has scored back-to-back, will take the draw against, once again, Andy O'Sullivan. Ball up in the air. Batted down. And still loose. Scooped up by Pearson. Now she loses it again. And it's picked up by Stevens. A whistle is blown. They might get Whitty here for a foul. And indeed they do. Stevens ready to push it down the field. Ball knocked out of the stick. Valenti nearly had a piece of it. Still loose. Bobbled around. And picked up by Mucciarone. Mucciarone lost the handle. Whistle blows. And Tom, you gotta feel like the tension is picking up between these two teams.
Yeah, every minute that goes by, the more energy, the more angst you see on the field. It's getting pretty fun to watch.
Stevens and some contact against Marie Valenti. This will at least give the ball to Stevens for a free position. A goal to tie at 7. Stevens. No, the ball poked out of her stick, loose. And Pearson gets checked up in the mouth. Hope she's okay as she has her hand covering her mouth. And she appears to be all right. So a good sign for another Blair player. Remember, Marie Valenti was knocked down to the ground on this side of the field by the goalie. Came out for a few minutes and then came right back in. And since she has come back into the game, she's definitely not been at 100%, but she's still trying to keep up the grind here with Blair. Millard. Loose ball. And a whistle blows. A little bit late right there. And it will be Peddie ball. So a turnover here for the Falcons. They trail Blair 7-6 here in the season finale for Peddie and the home season finale for Blair. Shot fired off a give and go from Stevens out of play. And no, it's actually saved by Sarah Van Kralingen, number 7, junior attack from Short Hills, New Jersey. And O'Sullivan working for the top. Backing away now. To her left, now backs away again. Andy O'Sullivan will make her way behind the cage, and a whistle comes in with 10 minutes left. And now we have a timeout on the field. It's called by Blair. They lead Peddie 7-6. We'll take a break and come back in a moment here on Strive. It has been mostly Blair here in the second half, and in terms of goals, that is. They've outscored Peddie 5-2 to take a 7-6 lead, and it's mostly thanks to Natalie Pearson and her efforts over the last 6 minutes.
Yeah, Pearson, 2 really good goals, but also some great plays defensively. She's kind of playing like somebody that's possessed. She's coming out here to make a lasting impact on her last game here at Blair Academy. She's an outstanding player. She's somebody that has been really exciting to watch over the past couple of years since we've been doing this here at Strive, along with Megan Burney and Callie Millard and Mia Lambo as well. It's great to see Marie Valenti has really led this team points-wise throughout the year. She's kind of been the go-to girl, but you can kind of get lost in the shuffle when you're not. If you watch this Blair team, you know that Millard and Pearson and people like Reed Von Stad and Casey Whitty that make enormous impacts on this team. Statistically, you just see Marie Valenti that just lights it up. But we're seeing with a limited Marie Valenti here today, some of the seniors really picking up the slack, and that's a cool thing to see.
And so Blair looking to potentially extend the lead, and who knows, maybe they will win their last home game of the season. We'll find out in about 10 minutes from now, as we'll fix our clock here for a moment. It's Blair 7-6 as you take a look at Melissa Earn in her final game as head coach for this Buccaneers squad, at least here at Hampshire Field. Blair will take a quick roadie out to Warren Hills High School on Saturday for a 1:30 draw, and then graduation. And everyone goes home for the summer.
Not everybody.
Well, kids.
The students.
Yeah. So out of the timeout, it is Peddie possession. They had control of this game for the majority of the first half, but second half, as I mentioned, it's been mainly Buccaneers. Stevens behind the cage now in the navy blue. Andy O'Sullivan, leisurely going up against Valenti here. They work it back out as Clark fires it down. Andy O'Sullivan coming in for the right, and shot fired wide left, out of play. Stevens will have it. Stevens tried to find O'Sullivan on a give and go. Ball is loose and scooped up by Cook.
Casey Whitty and Marie Valenti all over O'Sullivan there. Couldn't get her a good look, couldn't get her a good angle to get the give and go, or to get the sort of alley-oop that they were, or one-timer that they were trying for as they had before.
Cook will have it here on the whistle. Give and go unsuccessful. The pass a little too high to her teammate. Tufford scoops it up and finds Stevens, who will work her way behind the cage for Peddie. Dumps it off. Shot fired and scored by Olivia Cook. And we are once again tied up, this time at 7.
And Cook just way too wide open, too close to the net here. You see nobody around her. She's going to put that home 10 times out of 10.
Cook with her first goal of the day, 7th on the season for the junior mini out of Cranberry, New Jersey. Just a short drive from where Peddie is located in Hightstown. And for the draw, O'Sullivan looks to control it. Thought she was. Loose ball. Whistle comes in. So again, we are tied up at 7 thanks to a goal by Olivia Cook, rather. As the sun comes out for, I believe, the first time here in this game. Tufford. Nice jigger move down past the defender where a whistle comes in. Now the sun gets back into the clouds on what is probably one of, if not the coldest and windiest days of May. Tufford, free position, shot fired wide and out of play. Stevens will have it for the Falcons on the whistle. It'll actually be another free position, so it'll be Tufford again to try and give Peddie a lead right back, and there it is. Emily Tufford, the Chesterfield, New Jersey native, with her 9th goal of the year, and Peddie retakes the lead 8-7.
Take another quick look at it here. She's able to get ahead of all of the defenders and get in for a good look. And Blair's going to take a timeout here, talk things over. Peddie taking their first lead in a long time here at Hampshire Field.
So while they take a timeout, we too will step aside and come back with more right here on Strive. Despite Blair's dominance here in half number 2, it has mainly been Peddie. Peddie has recently come out, scored back-to-back goals in the last 2 minutes, one from Olivia Cook, the other from Emily Tufford, the junior and sophomore who have come in to retake the lead for Peddie. It's now 8-7 as Blair comes out of their huddle.
And we have an update from the baseball game. The Buccaneers did indeed take down Lawrenceville in the first round of the Prep A State Championship. I believe the score was 1-0. What I do know for sure is that senior Eddie Blair tossed a one-hit shutout.
Wow.
Against a very good pitcher, Nick Silber. I believe there was only one run on the day, and it was off of a bloop double from Tommy Kimmelman, I think, who's able to bring in the game-winning run.
Good news for Blair. Marie Valente out to take the draw. Even better news, she controls the draw and races down the sideline, the home white for Blair. Valente shoots. Goal, but wait a second. They wave it off at the last minute. Wow.
And it's going to be a free position here for Valente.
So, take 2 for Valente.
Timing that whistle, awful suspect.
Here we go. Valente, this time it counts. And we're tied up at 8 once more.
One of those possessions where Marie Valenti took the ball and just took control. Saw her coming all the way down the field, making a couple nice moves, and there was absolutely no way she was going to walk away from that possession without a tie ball game.
And for Valenti, it is a hat trick to give her 44 goals on the season. And she will come into midfield to take the draw against Andy O'Sullivan. By the way, the previous draw from Valenti was her first in about, well, her first since the midway portion of the first half. Clark goes cross field route to Cook, and Cook picks it up. Good spin move against Pearson. Tufford jogging down the field. Now she goes up against Valenti with under 6 minutes left. Tufford behind the cage and working her way to the near side against who else but Marie Valenti. 22 is Lauren Killian. Haven't mentioned her a lot since the first half. She has the ball behind the cage, and Valenti is going up against her. Stevens trying to sweep it in. She will instead back out and find another way to get a goal on the board. Stevens now on the right side, dumps it off, shot fired. It's deflected off the left side of the goalpost. No, did it go in? Yes, it did. That fooled me for a minute, but Emily Tufford puts it through to give Peddie a 9-8 lead.
It does sneak its way in there. Lambeau couldn't really see it. Off the crossbar and in, and we are shaping up for a pretty exciting finish to this one. A serious back and forth here between the Bucks and the Falcons. That's why this rivalry is what it is.
And now another lead change, and Peddie is really starting to capitalize after getting off to a slow start in the early portion of the second half. Valenti, nice leap, and she picks it up for Blair on the draw control. Valenti racing away behind the cage. The defender is Clark. Valenti now from the 8-meter circle, and her shot scooped up by Kate Barrett.
Really nice save by Barrett. Stoic in net. Just put the stick on it. Valenti got a really good look.
And on the other end, here comes Andy O'Sullivan, racing like a track and field superstar now. Finds a teammate. Shot deflected by Lambeau.
Excellent stop by Lambeau on a perfect look for Peddie. They had some serious numbers, and now Blair's going to get it. Nice job drawing the foul once again by Pearson. A veteran move.
Someone knocked Natalie Pearson to the ground, and she will have it here on the whistle.
Pearson's going to be shot out of a cannon here, I would imagine.
Valenti jogging down the field. Remember, she's battling what could be an ankle injury. We don't know that for sure because her right ankle was taped up back in the first half. Pearson scores off the bounce, and we're tied up again at 9.
Natalie Pearson, ice water in the veins. Check this out once again. Good feed from Valenti, but Natalie Pearson just sneaking through, getting in perfect position to put it past Barrett. Tie it up here.
Remember what I said about the low-scoring game we had in the first half? You can wipe that away from your memory because we could be in for double digits in terms of goals by both teams. And what a better way to do it here on the last home game of the season for Blair. The last game of the season for Peddie. Loose ball. Pearson nearly had it. Still loose on the ground. And it's picked up by Cook. Cook down the field against Bodner. And now Cook loses the handle. Whistle comes in. The foul will go against Blair. And a free position for Olivia Cook. Three minutes to go. Cook backs away. Maybe a setup here. Stevens. Check that. That's actually Muchero, number 8. And now Stevens has it behind the cage. Kara Stevens from the near side. Guarded by Von Staddy. Give and go. Shot deflected by Lambo.
That is a big-time save by Lambo. Huge on a perfect look and great execution there by Peddie. A little more contact here. Shea Lawless hits the deck.
It'll be a foul against the Falcons, and Lawless will have it here on the whistle. Tied up at 9 as we approach 2 minutes left. And remember, last 2 minutes of a basketball game, most important. It could be the same here in this lacrosse game. Bernie. Shot. Scored. Emily Dehan gives Blair a 10-9 lead.
That is just a huge play all around. First by Megan Burney to avoid the defender going after her stick. We'll take a look at it from before it gets to midfield, starting all the way with Pearson. A great pass to Burney. Burney with a great catch, and watch her avoid the stick of O'Donnell there, or O'Sullivan, and then a phenomenal finish there by Dehan. Great look. That's just a great transition possession there for the Buccaneers.
So, we are down to the final 158. And who knows who will have the advantage when this one is all said and done, as we get a whistle here off the draw. Even though it's not on your screen, down below, some of the Blair players on the sideline are right now trying to get themselves fired up. There they are, right beneath the scoreboard, at least our scoreboard.
And try to play some keep away here. Nobody better to do it than Valenti. She's going to have to squeeze a minute and 40 seconds out of that painful ankle here today. Try to look for something easy that opens up in front of the cage, but they're going to try to keep it as far away as they can. Just can't afford a turnover in this situation.
Under 90 seconds left, the sun, well, even though it's still trying to get its way out of the clouds, right now shining on Blair. Valenti. Now Dehan looks to go backwards to Pearson. Maybe some strategy here for Blair as they have control. We approach 1 minute left. Valenti.
They just took 40 seconds off the clock. Doing a great job so far. Valenti, this is where she shines.
Valenti trying to get out of the double team. A couple of players go to the deck. Pearson has it. 45 seconds left. And Pearson races toward the sideline. Dehan will come in to switch. Pearson. As Blair tries to play keep away, some contact, and a hard fall by Natalie Pearson. It was Bridget Wood who may have gotten a piece of that, as well as Abby Lloyd. And Pearson will have it here for the final 30 seconds.
Pearson, a risky move, trying to go in between those two defenders. Worked out for the Buccaneers, though.
Burney toward the goal. Again, this is a game of keep away right now for Blair. 20 seconds and counting. Valenti near the corner. And now she's trying to get away from the triple team. Loose ball, under 10 seconds left. Peddie might not have enough time if they get it. And they're not going to. Blair gets revenge on last year's loss to the Falcons and wins the Blair-Peddie game. 10-9, the final here at Hampshire Field.
What a game from both teams. You saw some serious serious leadership here for the Buccaneers. Their seniors coming up big. Saw some guts. Marie Valenti gutting out an ankle injury to come out on top here. Emily Dehan nets the game winner. The outstanding sophomore here for the Buccaneers in the right place at the right time and finishes. It takes some serious guts to make a big play like that, and a huge win for the Bucs on such an important day.
I think that the key storyline from this has to be the proudness out of Valenti, because she came out of the game with an apparent ankle injury midway through the first half, came back in and played her guts out.
She really did, and she has been the statistical leader of this team. She's been one of the 4 leaders of this team all year long, and when she was clearly limited there in the second half, some of the seniors like Megan Burney Millard and especially Natalie Pearson really took over and assumed that role as a leader of this team, as the leaders of this team, and it was really cool to see that all come together and picking up the slack for one another, because those 3 are as outstanding lacrosse players as you will see in this league, in Millard and Pearson and Burney as well. And when you add Valenti into the mix, you get an 11-3 season like they have right now, potentially a 12-3 season after they only won 3 games last year. So this is a great, really talented squad, a squad that showed a lot of guts and a lot of heart today in beating their rival 10-9 after going down. They were down 4-2 in the first half and then going down there 8-7 for a little bit, but a great performance from both teams.
It's the last home game for Millard, Lambo, Valenti, even though this was her only season as a post-grad, Lawless, Whitty, and Burney, and what a career they have had. And as you see the hugs from Katie Schweizer on Peddie, Melissa Earn for Blair. Oh, by the way, this is the last ever home game for Melissa Earn here at Blair Academy.
So a great way to make a lasting memory here. If this is your last game coaching here at Blair Academy, something tells me Melissa Earn won't stay away from the field too long. But a great way to go out, and she's going to hug Doc G here. Can't thank Blair enough for what they've provided for us, which is an opportunity to cover some excellent athletics and some really talented student athletes that are talented in so many different ways. Before you step in, Matt, I just want to thank Jim Stone first and foremost for giving us the opportunity the past 2 years to cover athletics here at Blair. It's been an unbelievable experience. I want to thank the parents and the alumni of Blair Academy for supporting this venture. Everybody that's helped us along the way, Laura Curtis, Brian Antonelli, Tammy Finley, Doc G, Coach Strauss, everybody here at Blair Academy that's been so accommodating. It's been an awesome experience covering these student athletes, and it was another great season here for the Bucs.
And I will definitely agree with you on the same thank yous to all the people here at Blair in my first year working with you here on Strive. I have to say, in all of the high school facilities I've been to this year, whether it's for print or for broadcast, this has to be one of the best looking facilities possible. It's an exceptional prep school that is shaped to look like a college. Yeah, it's basically one of those schools that gets kids ready ready to go to college, and more
ways than one. And the campus is beautiful. The facilities here are second to none, at least in New Jersey. They're outstanding. You just look at the baseball field; it looks like something out of a museum. The upgrade that they've made here to Hampshire Field has been outstanding. To put the lights on, Hardwick Hall is fantastic. The tennis courts behind us, the soccer fields. Beyond the baseball field, everything here is top notch, and it's a really, really fun place to be. It's 2 hours away from where we are located in Princeton Junction, but it's worth the trip every single time.
So again, thanks to everyone here at Blair for all the hard work they've done to help Tom, myself, and everyone else who has come out here to stream these games. The final from this girls lacrosse game, 10-9, Blair winning the Peddie Blair rivalry game. We'll see you tomorrow for the Prep B State Baseball and Softball Championship games from Diamond Nation in Flemington. So long, and we'll see you tomorrow right here on Strive.